Well,
So,
let's start off with our first topic then.
well,
2018, a good start.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. That
All
makes
right,
sense.
meltdown slash Spectre attack. Mm. So
Teach
Steven
me.
doesn't know about it yet. The whole
I
thing
know a
we're
little
trying to do
bit.
right now, he knows a little bit. We're trying to keep him a little bit misinformed right now, so we can try to explain it as best we can. So at a really high level, everybody is screwed, which is really interesting
This is great.
because no attack really has ever like affected at such a scale. I don't think, right? Like when was the last time you heard about um, an attack that couldn't be patched by software, right? Like this can't.
Yeah,
This is the first time where it's like the only way to fix it. Even on the government listed exploit team says solution replace CPU hardware, which is very interesting. It's like feels bad, man, for everybody. Everybody's
yeah, and
pretty tilted about it. So
it's a different kind of attack as well. It's not like a line was written by a developer and it was, whoops, oops, I wrote a bug. It's like it's an attack on something that was a feature.
yeah, it's amazing that they didn't think about it.
What's the
Either they
feature?
did. So all right, let's talk. Let's get a. It's about speculative instructions, right?
Mhm.
So okay, let's go into the low level part. I guess it's time to dive deep. All right, so Steven, you agree CPUs are very fast.
Oh, especially
RAM
mine.
RAM is the threshold, right? You agree. RAM is actually pretty slow relative to a CPU. So let's get that down, right? So
Okay.
if it takes 100 to 200, let's just say 100 nanoseconds to make everything simple. 100 nanoseconds to get a read a byte from RAM or something, read a value from RAM. So every single time you read a value from RAM, your CPU is pretty smart about it, and it'll be like, you're probably going to read the next couple of bytes from memory, so we'll load them into the CPU cache, because CPU cache is 0.5 nanoseconds.
So it's
Right?
supposed to be like an efficiency thing.
Exactly, right? So it takes 200 times as long to get it from RAM, right? So that would slow down your code like crazy. I know 200 nanoseconds doesn't sound like a long time, but in terms of instructions, running, very fast, so that would take a long time to like read in a bunch of values. So speculative instructions is they want their CPU to be always doing something. They don't want to lose any efficiency. So if they see some instructions coming up that are pretty likely to run, and they have what's called a few pipes that are not busy, like it's running, let's say there's 4 pipes, and 2 pipes are running calculations that are currently running right now. It says we have 2 empty pipes. It'd be a waste of time not to run some code that's going to be executed later. We can pre-run that code so it's already done, because these 2 pipes, even though it might not run, we can just undo that code if it didn't run. No big deal. So that's the whole idea. They'll take instructions, speculatively bring in other instructions and run them and undo them if it turns out they didn't need them. So, fun thing is, the whole exploit works around that cache. So you can tell it to, if you can kind of manipulate that speculative part
Uh-huh.
by saying read into memory that read past. So this is, hold on, let me back up for a second, because this relates to the Spectre part of the attack, which is managing. No, yeah, Spectre part of the attack, which does shared memory from an application. This isn't about kernel memory right now. This is about, you can read bytes from, you can load cache from another part of your application. It'll load it all in a cache, and then you can read that cache. That's the absolute flaw right there. It's reading in memory that it shouldn't have done in the first place. Now I can read that cache, because applications and like all your kernel, Linux, all these applications have, safety in their memory so that you can't read outside of your bounds. Now, if I was in Chrome, for example, and someone ran this exploit, they could start reading passwords and stuff that's in memory, like private keys, worst case scenario. It's a lot of worst case scenario stuff. It's like not impractical. It's very slow to run these attacks.
How many people do you think actually exploited this prior to it becoming like a big, news thing?
Probably like no one, honestly. It's too slow to be like a good attack, but it's what it's capable of is why it's scary, and the fix is what slows down like the fix will take a performance hit on processors, which is a huge
so
deal.
that's where the feature comes in. So this was implemented into not only Intel chips, but almost any chip, I believe.
Yeah.
This dual execution thing. Yeah, it was built into the chip. So the only way to patch this completely would be to reverse that feature, and that feature is currently what makes CPUs really fast.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, what are they gonna do? Go back on it and take performance hits, or are they gonna like
just undo everything we did?
I mean, I guess the trick is that there are like protections in place, but the trick is to, even if it's in cache, they have to do protection checks, right? Like if it's in cache, they'll do protection checks on the memory. I don't know, like
this with net neutrality, the whole thing is like a double slap, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting
just doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting hit all over the place right now in terms of just things ruining our lives. No, that's fine.
So what's the fix? Is it to literally buy a new CPU that could potentially be slower now because of compromising that feature?
I mean, I'm no expert, but it sounds like they could fix it by doing they have to fix it at the CPU level. That's why they can't just fix it with software. I think they actually have to redesign some aspects of the CPU, but like protecting cached memory that comes into the CPU, making sure you don't read out of bounds on stuff like that. But it's really dangerous. So like I've seen demos, you can do it on things as high level as JavaScript, and you're still manipulating CPU level instructions, which is actually insane to me because JavaScript is an interpreted language, as in it doesn't get compiled down to instructions. You know what I mean? But apparently JavaScript has a lot of features for low level for performance reasons that you can take and manipulate. In their white paper, they have they have a bunch of demos. But can we talk about? Do you guys want to get more technical?
Just fix it with some duct tape.
I kind of want to go back to like a high level. Like I read something on Twitter. I want to present it here and see if it's correct.
Okay.
It's like kind of like a metaphor for all of this and how it like implicates into the real world. So let's say you go to the library, right? And you go to the front desk and you say, "Hey, can you give me all of your fiction books?" Right?
Okay.
Now, where the branching comes out is between you asking it, like after you ask it, you like hand the librarian your card, she will automatically fire off a call to go get the cached version of all of the
fiction
of the books, fiction books on the cart.
Yeah.
And so while that's happening, she finds out like after he or she scans your card, it turns out you can't be reading nonfiction books, but you can still look at the cart, which is the cached version of the return that you were gonna get. Is that kind of like?
Yeah. So the cache is what's unprotected. That's what I've got from all my reading, which I went so hard on last night. Is that the cache is the downfall right now? But I guess there are some protection checks apparently, but like they didn't. By the time the protection check runs, apparently you're already done.
So I think that's where Meltdown comes in. It's not executing in order.
Yeah, it's exactly. There's we should totally link some stuff when we like post this because there's some really good articles that help you understand it with like hard real code instructions that make sense to people. Even I understood it, which is mind blowing because some of this stuff is like really low level and I don't have any experience in that. But this is crazy. And Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux, called out Intel so hard. He publicly said there's a problem. Someone at Intel has to take like a good hard look at themselves, and this isn't just a PR thing. Something is at the heart wrong with your CPUs, and you guys need to address this. That wasn't verbatim, obviously, but he's pretty tilted. I guess he has like a long-standing thing with Intel where he's not a fan of them, right? I mean, I can't imagine working at such a low level you'd like anybody.
So this has only to do with Intel chips, really?
No. So
I don't think so. So people have been speculating, does this work on the A1 chip, which is the chip that runs on Apple? But I assume it works everywhere. It just...
So why would he call out Intel?
Well, so here's the thing. Intel got kicked the hardest for it. They, the exploit was found on their CPUs, and the concept is across all systems. Like most modern CPUs use this. Like some of the Intel Pentium chips don't use this. Some of the ARM chips don't use this, but a lot of the manufacturers of these chips went publicly and said it's possible to make an exploit out of this, just not as easily, I guess, as it is on Intel right now, and how, there's a bunch of examples on how to get all your stuff out of memory right now, especially for the Intel stuff. And it is cross, like, at least in the computer file video I watched, he ran it like cross-platform. Like, he said it was no big deal, but he said any CPU, which I guess isn't really true. But a lot of the CPUs are vulnerable to these attacks. A lot of companies right now are doing good PR work and like saying our chips aren't vulnerable. They're addressing the issue. They're kind of nailing it. Some of them actually aren't vulnerable, but I think a good amount of them are. Like Raspberry Pi, for example, did a blog post yesterday why we're not vulnerable. They did some explanation. So
what if you had two? Oh, good.
Oh no, I think just to add to that, in this scenario, Intel gets hit the hardest because their chips run on almost everything. Yeah,
exactly. My bad for not mentioning that. Their market share is insane, right? So they affect people at such a larger scale. So Stock, though, the CEO sold like a lot of his shares when he knew about the attack. They found out about it in June. Google disclosed to them, quietly, so they can like get a grip on everything. They just went public, and so that CEO, right? He's going to be prosecuted, right, for doing that. What do you call that?
Insider trading, or maybe, I don't know.
I guess so, right? Because whatever you need to call it, that's not cool. What he did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You knowing about an attack. I wonder if he even knew. Like, if he's a technical person and he knew, like, this is bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, like, I can see why that would be bad, but, like, at the same time, like, it's kind of great for me, because, like, I don't know.
You have any stock in Intel, Steven, that you want to tell us about?
No, actually, I have stock in AMD.
Oh, interesting. So everybody write that down and know Steven is biased, and he's just his own personal gain right now. No,
he's actually a private investor.
Yeah.
So,
I have
Steven, do you have any questions about like the technical aspect of it? Because I know I kind of just glossed over it.
I have I have a couple. I have one that I don't know if it's a silly question, but what if you had two CPUs? Does that change any variables here? Does that make it twice as vulnerable?
You could run the attack twice as fast.
I was gonna say, does it actually mean you run it twice as fast? Does it really mean that? Because I guess that makes sense.
Nah, most things are like single threaded anyway, right? Like I feel like it's not good either way. It doesn't help. I don't think it hurts either. You know?
Yeah, that was just a silly question there.
Alright, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Any other questions about really? You understand the technical aspect? That was tough. Like it took me so long to understand that.
Yeah, what I don't understand is why the cache can't be protected. Like I see like you're talking about how the cache makes it efficient and the cache is therefore like, but the bad thing about that is that we could take advantage of that by exploiting it and giving instructions that shouldn't be there, right? But like, why can't we have that efficiency but have security measures in place? Like, is that not? Am I missing something here?
They messed up. I think that's it. I think they messed up, and that can only be fixed hardware side.
So it is possible. It's not that that's not something we can't do.
Right.
Well, so the reason this was brought up in the first place is because it's something that sped up the CPU. It was something that was supposed to help you,
right?
But it turns out it's not good.
I think the problem is, like, yeah, if they try to fix its software side, that you would take a performance hit. But if you buy a new CPU where they do hardware level fix, I think you'll be fine, right? Because all they have to do is protect that cache.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right? That
thinking.
sounds right.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know very much about this stuff. So, what about Raspberry Pi? They don't develop. Do they develop CPUs themselves, or like what is it about their?
They have ARM chips or something, right? They use ARM.
Oh, so it is a different chipset completely.
Yeah, I can read. Let's see. These affect all Intel processors, and in the case of Spectre, many AMD processors and ARM cores. Let's see. No, I don't know why they're not vulnerable, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing some people aren't vulnerable. Raspberry Pi is cool. I dig them. Never really got into that.
Especially since because a lot of IoT devices run on Raspberry Pis.
Oh
That's
my God.
probably a good thing.
IoT.
Yeah. Oh, can we get trendy right now?
Yeah, let's get trendy. Let's get at me.
I mean, Internet of Things. You guys remember when that attack happened, where the guy took over all like refrigerators in the world and DDoS Spotify, or he DDoSed the DNS for Spotify and some big boys. That was insane. Imagine that attack had happened at this scale, and he was like reading. What are you gonna read passwords from refrigerators? Never mind. Doesn't really help. This attack's pretty scary. There's not really much more to say on it other than we're all affected. Buy a new CPU if you're really scared. I'm not scared because I don't go on any shady websites that are going to run any target. You have to like take this with a grain of salt because it's like bad, but what are the odds any of us are going to be hurt by this? No, the problem is the cloud.
I think the odds are pretty great. So like if this exploit is able to execute via JavaScript, it only takes like a website to not vet its ads to get it to run, on a web page.
Yeah, but when has an ad ever like executed their own JavaScript? You know what I mean? It's usually like an ad firm that's like sending this stuff out, and why would they don't usually, like, even when it comes to like porn sites, they're pretty like secure about, right? Like it's not like it's all a joke. No one's like messing around. You know what I mean?
I thought it was only like up to the websites to vet the ads.
Yes. Well, I mean, like they're buying from an ad firm, right? I mean, they're like selling for an ad firm, right?
I have no idea how ads work.
Well, and what about Google? Can't Google play a role in, vetting?
Fixing?
Well, like severely punishing sites that are running such scripts.
Oh! I wonder how easy it is to detect.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like what?
Yeah,
what is there like is there that one line of code that you write? Like that one liner, huh?
Yeah.
The get clear dead giveaway.
I mean, I really don't think anyone's gonna be affected. Besides, like, apparently people are like, I'm reading articles and I'm getting all fancy, but I think it's the cloud is that issue, because if the vulnerabilities break into there, then everybody's screwed, right? Because you don't want that.
Agree.
Once the server gets infected, then all the clients get infected.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my biggest concern. But I don't think it'll happen. I think I'm gonna keep using my daily routine, and nothing's gonna change if I'm being honest.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not really worried either.
Calm and cool.
Cool. What about you, Dunn?
I am scared.
Okay.
Final concern.
You got stuff to hide, Don?
No, the world's gonna end. No, it's definitely scary, but yeah, like what Terrence said, I don't think anything's gonna change from my day to day. We work with enterprise clients, so it is kind of keeping them calm is the hardest part.
Did you have to address it, actually? I'm curious about that.
Our head of security did, yes.
Was it just kind of like he just had to, like, did a client call and be like, is this going to affect us? And he was like, nah, you're fine, or what?
No, I think we were pretty proactive about it. We sent out an email. I don't know what that email entailed, but yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. You guys get on the ball. That's pretty cool, actually.
You guys see King Frederick's comment?
Let's read. I hear a lot of devs on Reddit say they can't really proof their ads. They use the company, and the company. Yeah, no. So the company supplies the ads, but you have to you have some reliance on the company to vet the ads, and usually the company if you're using a company to vet the ads, you should research that company and be like, are they throwing out trash ads? You know, who's putting those ads on their site anyway? You know what I mean? It's only like on really like low key porn sites that are going to be those trash ads anyway. And porn sites have been malware since the dawn of time. So, you know, yeah, so stay away from all that for now.
You heard it here, folks. All right, so now let's transition, and I feel pretty good about that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we covered it well, honestly.
I think we ended it actually.
I feel like if you didn't understand it before, like maybe you have a grip now, because it was like I had so much trouble understanding the attack at a low level.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
And like basically once this podcast goes on YouTube, just link someone who's confused too, and do them a favor.
And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
smash that like button.
Oh God, stop it.
It's so cringy.
So what's the next topic?
Okay. The next topic is freelancing, which this is what man, I'm pumped for this because I'm hoping that a lot of our viewers here are either involved in this or are interested in it. So they got to be, right?
I'm everybody in here.
I'm confused if you're not, Yeah. So okay.
As someone who has been employed, what is freelancing? Like, what's the definition?
Filling out a 1050.
What do you want to do? Let's check. What is the definition? Like the actual definition. Okay.
I think if you fill out a 1050 and you're not employed, for the record, people from EU in here, you punks, 1050 is the tax form where you're not employed, but you're like a contractor and you have to report your income. So you don't pay taxes throughout the year, but at the end of the year, you have to report all your income and hope you have enough money left in your bank account, not in cryptocurrency, to pay off those taxes. It's very important that you have money to pay off those taxes.
You have to liquidate all your assets and then pay your taxes.
Yep.
It's so real, man.
This is real. We're so bad. All right, so freelancing. What do you think? What is your definition of freelancing?
So, okay, the actual definition is working for different companies at different times rather than being permanently employed by one company.
That's fake news.
Fake news. Yeah, okay, so that's interesting. I like to look at freelancing a little differently. Like you're talking about the legal classification, right? Legal tax classification of what is a freelancer. But I think the best way to look at it is you're a businessman, And so if you think about it, if you look at from business perspective, what is a business person, you do marketing, sales, you do negotiations, hopefully you're doing contracts, bidding on projects, figuring out the scope of work, and then billing your projects out, and you're self-directed. So I think we, changing your mindset can maybe even, for those of you who are freelancers, maybe you could step up your game and take freelancing more seriously and actually, make that your full-time job. I feel like the only time if I had to distinguish the type of freelancing that I hear often is if it's temporary, you're just temporarily doing something, then otherwise I don't see why you wouldn't fully commit to it.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. Let's say I quit my job, right?
Okay.
How do I become a freelancer?
Well, you now are. Yeah, that's what most people on Reddit are, man. But I think a major key. So Steven, I think you're a little bit biased because you said you're talking about all these business things. A freelancer, you're not a freelancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're building up a company. I think I'm a freelancer just because I don't belong anywhere. But you belong to Blue Citrus. You know what I mean? You definitely you're building that company right now. You're just contracting me and whatever. But you're trying to build up a business. So, and I just kind of stick with you. And you're talking about try to make it your full-time job. But when you talk about a freelancer, you're looking at an individual who's just trying to find work at a bunch of different companies. But I think most of the time what ends up happening is a freelancer will find somebody who consistently gives them work and usually sticks with that person. I think it's rare that somebody's constantly getting jobs from different people. That's like a lot to keep a tab on, in my opinion.
Yeah,
from what I hear, if you're a freelancer, you mainly get your work from a select group of people, but it is from different companies.
Yeah, so, like, Steven, like, we get jobs from... So, all right, Steven, why don't you go ahead and just explain Blue Citrus real quick for those who are...
and before I do, kind of go, because you said some interesting stuff. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Like, from your... I know you're looking at it from your perspective. We have different perspectives on this. But, I mean, you know, I feel like from your standpoint, you don't really actively look for maybe another company. And, you know, I'm cool with that, but, I mean... you could, you know, if you took yourself like more seriously in the sense that, you know, I want more work, you can look at it as like, I'm going to have a business mindset and I'm going to go out and, you know, find these clients, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be whether it's an employer, like that's what business is like. You know, if you know, sit there and wait for me to give you work, that's fine too. But I feel like I'm talking more about a mindset rather than, you know, the classification of like what is a freelancer. I'm just trying to, so let's separate those two.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I get that. Like, I'm not as hungry, I think, as most freelancers, because some people, like, I know people, like you're saying, make an active effort to go out there and find themselves work. But if I know I can sit back and have somebody that's consistently giving me work, and I have enough, you know, like I don't really have too many expenses, I can just live my life. I just dig, you know, just chilling out, you know, you consistently giving me work, and we have like a great relationship and great workflow, and so I'm not as hungry, I guess, as most other freelancers. But there's like a lot of struggles that come along with being a freelancer.
Oh, totally.
Too. Like Steven, tell them the legacy of Blue Citrus, man.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's like a lot of ups and downs, you know, like.
I mean that's a tough question, or like not really a question, but that's a tough thing to answer. I mean, yeah, like it's been tough, like starting a business. It's definitely like it's not easy. You got to put a lot of time into it, and so. I'd say Blue Citrus has been around for, I think, almost 5 years now. And I'd say 2017 was our best year. So it's looking up. But, I mean, is there anything specific you want to talk about in terms of like?
I remember one day I was at school and I was walking to class and I got a call from Steven, and I've never heard a man sound so upset. You were telling me about like how like what we needed to work on right now, and like how if we didn't get more clients or whatever, like that was going to be the end of Blue Citrus, and I died inside that day. That was like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we're taking it up, man. That's what we do. We grind sometimes, and then you know what I mean. We bring the company up, dude, and like things keep looking up.
Yeah.
I mean, Don, like, so as a non-freelancer, do you have any, like, would you rather be a freelancer, or do you totally dig where you are now?
I like having... So, the thing with freelance is I feel like it's a lot of working remotely. That's one of the perks, but for me, it's kind of a con, because I want to be next to the person that I'm working with.
Right.
Now, I want to come into the office every day. Like, I want to have a location where we meet... and stuff like that. What was the question?
Do you have, like, would you rather, like, talk about the, you know, compare and contrast being a freelancer, you working at a full-time job? Do you have any gripes with being at a full-time job? Do you have any draw to being a freelancer?
I think being a freelancer definitely has its perks, but for me, what most people find as perks being a freelancer, I find just as a con. Like I don't have any. I'm not drawn to become a freelancer anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely like say that one of the worst things is there's no separation between work life and like normal. Like when like for example, if I'm at my computer, you know what I mean. It's kind of it's there. You know what I mean. It's hard to not think about it. And I don't have a set time where I go into an office. So like if it's the weekend, you know, like Steven and I always like will hit me up, be like, hey, can you work on this thing? And I'm glad to always, because you know it's my grind. But like it's weird like not having a separation of work and social life, and it totally takes a toll because you know like it gets kind of dull like every single week when you don't look forward to Friday anymore. It feels like you have nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard.
I mean, like I feel like you know that could be freelancing could just be like it's just a lot of discipline, you know, like because you know with an employer you have everything's clear, it's put in front of you, it's clear. With freelancing, there's so much blurs, and it's like you got to figure this world out, you know. I'd say, Terrence, you've done like I've seen you grow even just as a freelancer, like over time. Like you've been making better decisions, you know, everything from you know, development efficiency to even your time management. I mean, I feel like you're doing better. So I mean, I don't feel like it's I mean it, dude.
Now kiss.
For the record, this man brought me in when I was 15. It was my 15th birth. What was it? My 15th birthday. I remember it was like the day before. No, it was the day before my 16th birthday. I remember I gave my first application to my school, and we were starting up like DevWars stuff, and I was getting my beginnings, and you hit me up about helping you with the site with Rani, some guy.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's insane, dude. It's so insane how lucky I got. First of all, I just met this guy on Reddit. He said he was streaming on Twitch, and he's like, I went in there, and then we just start. What I said I could help you with DevWars.
Yeah. And like the thing though, I mean, like I probably, because a lot of people said they would help too. Like especially when DevWars first came out, dude. Like there was so much people who were like, dude, what the heck is this? This is the sickest idea ever. I want to get involved. But like you approached it differently. Instead of saying you want to help, like you actually said, hey, I built something. Can you check it out?
Dude, I can't believe what a risk you took on me. I knew nothing.
No, dude, you don't give yourself enough credit. You knew everything, dude. Like I was like, like your age meant nothing to me, dude. Like it was like this guy.
I love that.
This guy knows more than like what older like people that are older than me know. You know what I mean? Like so already I knew there was so much potential. Like especially at your age.
Oh my god, I love you.
No, seriously, dude. Like think about where things have gone after that. Like,
no, this is dude. Here, it's insane. Yeah, we've taken it far. Let's try not.
I was gonna let the bromance continue. Like I love. So reminisce on the Otis.
Oh man, yeah.
Great podcasting.
I think the Steven Terrence romance is gonna take a turn in season 4. Season of DevWars, yeah. I don't know.
Season 4.
Will they? Won't they? Kind of thing, you know.
To be continued.
Yeah. But yeah, freelancing is tough. I guess like I don't know. It has its pros and cons. I think everybody, like a lot of people talk about freelancing, but I think it's kind of in everybody's head. There are pros, there are cons. You can either do it or you can't. People have mental health issues. If you can't handle being in a room all day, you know, not having that separation, it's not for you. You know, you have to like look into yourself and see like, can I do this? If not, you should probably find a 9-to-5 job. You know, no windows.
So another thing about freelancing that I want to cut in here is you normally get paid more, but that's mainly because you don't have health benefits, and so that kind of covers that. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
I mean, yeah, freelancing. The nice thing about it too is that you know you charge, you're self-directed. You charge your own rates, whatever, you know. Like really, there is no cap. It's just like how much you put into it. So to me, that's the pro of freelancing. Like I don't like the idea of being capped. I think that's why employment was very off-putting to me. You know, I've always like the freedom that you get in being your own businessman, and figuring it out for yourself. It's really exciting in my opinion. But I get, you know, like your perspective too, Don. I mean, I was that phone call that Terrence was talking about, that was like I could get in, you know, a job. I could. I've had interviews, successful interviews and stuff. That was my final straw sort of thing. I wanted to fall back on that, but I definitely did not want to, you know, fall into that.
Yeah, no, ending Blue Citrus, man. I don't know. I literally don't know what I would have done. Dude, I would have been like stuck at college, like trying to find myself and, you know, like not knowing what to do with myself. I don't understand what people do. Like, I literally have just like, all right, off topic, socially speaking, what do people do for fun? Like,
you hang out with friends, Terrence.
But like, what do you do? Okay, 100%. If you're not getting intoxicated, what do you do with your friends?
We sometimes play games. We do like board game nights.
I cannot stand board games. Oh my god,
I would like to know this.
Maybe it's because I'm just the worst person ever, but I cannot stand picking up a piece, moving a piece. Are you gonna buy board? What? No, I don't care, dude. It means nothing to me. It's all in 2 hours. That's the end of my life, and I can't.
Well, there's actually the board game market has really exploded within the past like
What?
3 years. So there's more board games geared towards adults.
Oh, like Cards Against Humanity is lit. I won't lie. Love that.
Yeah, it just depends on like who you're with and like the board game you're playing. Like, I feel like, I mean, I've played some pretty simple games, had a lot of fun, you know. But I mean, there is that, like, I try to get my brother to play board games with me sometimes with my friends, and he doesn't like that. They have to sound so boring to him. But like,
yeah, dude, I don't know if it's like a social anxiety thing that like when I'm with people, I just bug out because I don't know what to do, so I just go home. I don't know, like I just bug out. I can't. I don't know. I can't handle it, man.
Your friends are boring.
but video games is another thing too.
Hold on, that might be it though. Do you think it's like? Hold on, this is turned from a podcast into terms of personal therapy session. Do you think my friends are like? Do you think it's like my friends are like aren't fun enough? Like, do you think that's?
Well, hold on.
I don't know.
Do you play? So when you play video games, though, do you feel the same way?
Well, okay, I play StarCraft and I'm so competitive. Like, oh my god, that's such a hard game. And when I lose, it's over. You know what I mean? I die inside.
But
maybe you're the hard friend to like. Oh, we can't invite Terrence to this LAN session because he takes everything too seriously.
Oh no, I would. Oh, dude, catch me on LAN. You're all dead, dude. Catch me on LAN. Oh,
how about that?
How about
zero
that?
ping. Watch me.
No, I actually can't stand video game players who are casual. Like, so actually, yeah, seriously, like those are the worst people that I could play games with because, like, you know, we're just not on the same. Like, they'll die maybe 3 games in a row and just rage quit and they're done. But to me, that makes me want to play even more. And I think that's
referring to me in Fortnite. I swear to God.
No. I think you're pretty competitive.
All right, cool beans.
So
man.
for me, I was competitive in League of Legends. I think I was like gold or something, but I play League of Legends with my roommate now, and it's amazing because we don't really play competitively. We just go on there to have fun. And if we lose, we're like, oh well. It's like a talking point for if we go out again or if we do something.
Yeah, I can't do that. I have to hit ranked every time when I play League of Legends. I can't unless I'm playing with someone.
Freelancers are the worst people.
Maybe that's what it is. Like, that's clear
why we're
giveaway.
alone in a room all day.
You want to know if you're a freelancer material? What do you do video game wise? How do you play your video games?
Yeah, man,
It's a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway right there. All right, so we don't want to take this too long,
Yeah.
so let's quickly brush over some of our freelancer workflows, like on a day-to-day basis. Everybody just go through, even Don, doesn't matter if you're freelancer, doesn't really matter. Let's just go through what our grind is. The second you get in, you sit down.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Done. So, like, how often what do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, without getting too specific, like, do you have do you have tasks laid out in front of you? Are you working on one project? Or how many projects are you hopping back and forth? You know what I mean?
Okay, so my title is software engineer and test infrastructure. So when I come into work, there's usually, if the sprint has started, we do sprints. So if the sprint has started, you can look at your sprint board and see the tasks that you have laid out in front of you, which ones are in progress, which ones are done and stuff. When I go into work, we have a 10-minute stand-up.
Comedy session?
Comedy session. Yes. We make jokes about each other's code and just cry. Yeah, we just do that 10-minute session, and then sometimes we'll have more meetings throughout the day. But other than that, you just sit
meetings with
down
who?
and you work.
Your project manager or what?
How did you get so loud? What happened?
Yeah, you got really loud all of a sudden.
Sorry.
So you guys follow closely to Scrum? Like, you guys have a Scrum Master and you guys take that seriously?
No, we don't have a Scrum Master, but we do have people that we do it as a collective group. So
that's interesting.
We'll come together. Are you okay?
I swear to God, dude, he wakes up and just does as many drugs as he can, random ones, so nobody knows what's gonna happen.
I'm missing everything here.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I should continue or.
No, keep going, bro. I'm very curious. I promise, I'm very interested.
I am.
But even Steven is interested. All right. No Scrum Master. Just collective group work. Go ahead. You got this.
Well,
Alright, I got this. Alright, I'm done. I get into work. I get coffee. I have a hangover. I put on my sunglasses. I write tests, break people's code, talk to the Scrum Master. Then I go home and drink some more and play Dota 2?
No, League of Legends.
Nah, League of Legends. My bad.
Okay, so we don't have a Scrum Master, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty accurate.
So you don't have a project manager too, or what?
We have a project manager, but it's more, since I'm on the infrastructure team, it's mainly a senior dev that's on the infrastructure team that is the project manager. He lays out the tasks that I need to do.
Okay. Would you say the company you worked at before was bigger or smaller?
Smaller. And it was actually a different type of company, which maybe we can get into.
Yeah,
so maybe I'm working at so right now I'm working at a product company, but my last company was an agency, which is a lot like Blue Citrus, where, it was a 9-to-5, quote unquote, and my salary was capped. It was definitely a lot of getting clients, but if we lost a client, it didn't mean the end of the company.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's kind of what that means for us sometimes, right? We have a few big clients, some of our clients. No, let's not.
I basically
we have workflows to go through.
Yeah, I treat it every client will just if we don't take care of them, this is the end of our company.
Well, no, I love what you say. You say we treat them like partners, and I think that's brilliant. You know what I mean? You want to help them grow, and it's sincere and genuine, and I feel like they see that in you.
Totally, yeah. That's awesome.
So, all right, Steven, what do you do when you wake up? Let's hear it. First thing you do.
So, okay, Don described his senior dev as essentially, I feel like that's the stuff I do, except I don't know if your senior dev's out finding business. I don't think that's what he's doing.
So since I work at a product company, we make a product. We don't. We do have a sales team which sells the product, but we don't actively go out and try to make business.
Yeah. Well, so I have a question real quick. So with looking at the difference between the agency and where you work out now, like a product company, would you say the workflow was better optimized for a developer? I know you're doing different work, but like from what you've witnessed, do you think the developer workflow was more in tune in the agency, or do you think the product company has it right?
What's your definition of in tune?
Like,
is it just like more enjoyable,
more efficient? Actually, that's probably what I mean. Because like,
I don't think it's efficient in an agency. It all depends what kind of agency you're at. But at the place I was at, where we had a lot of clients, but not a lot of like developer resources.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of developers had to like resource switch, like context switch between different projects and different days. So it could be like within a week you're working on 3 different projects. So I wouldn't say it's very it's very in tuned.
So when you do switch on, were you involved too when projects got switched on you?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, do they have? So obviously that's inefficient. Anytime you're hopping between projects, that's something Terrence and I deal with too. I'm just kind of curious. Like, do you guys have some sort of rule on that? Like, do you like a minimum of X amount of hours, or it's kind of like we need this now, let's switch, or like what is it?
It just depends what client it is. Of course, if it's a high-profile client and they have a P0 bug, then you just have to switch. Like, there's no question about it. Yeah, it's just the situations and the scenarios are different every time.
Yeah, I guess that's just the nature of the work.
All right, so Steven, you wake up first thing.
Man, it's just different every day because, like, I can define my responsibilities. It's not like a consistent thing every day because, like, unfortunately, sometimes I can't even develop anymore because when I go out and meet with clients and or find business, that could take the entire day and just the drive time. I'm not even centralized in my city, so like I actually have to go quite out of my way to meet with these clients.
So
what's your favorite thing to do though? Like, what do you love to just do dev? Like, is that what you want to do at heart, or do you have an urge to be the businessman and go out there?
I think what I want to do is definitely do project management and make that more of a thing. I want to play a role in development, but at the same time, I feel confident in my ability to understand what the client needs and take care of them in the way by delivering clear instructions to the team, making sure that they know what to do to make sure that this client is happy. So quality assurance too kind of plays a role in that. So I'm confident in my ability to do that, but like sometimes I feel overloaded in the sense that if I am a developer working on the project, which has been what I've done, and playing the businessman, going out and meeting with these clients to begin with, it's I can't really do too much in a day.
Gotcha.
Balancing all that stuff. So ideally, I'd like to be more involved in that role.
Gotcha. Okay.
So some days you wake up and you develop. Other days you wake up and go find clients.
Oh yeah, and sometimes
you like do research and stuff.
And some days could even just like emails can take up time.
Dude, all the time with him on the emails, it's crazy. You always sending those, and like your proposals too. You put an insane amount of time into like beautiful proposals, which is I think is huge. It's a big deal, and you do color print too, which is beautiful.
Oh, what's interesting is when I was in an agency, that was all abstracted out to other people. So like the project manager would basically, you're describing everything that a team would do in an agency. So like the project manager would send out emails, the designer would create the proposals, the developer would of course develop. So yeah, it's kind of like all in
Steven's
one.
all in one package. Amazing. I'm glad I snatched him up.
Yeah, we
definitely put a ring on it.
Yeah. Alright, so quick run through my day, just to get through all of us. Alright, so if it's at school, I would wake up, I'd go to class, usually get back, I'd have an hour in between 12 o'clock to 1:25, which is where I'd come down, and like if there were any bugs that Steven was like, yo, hot fix, please run now, I would go on and fix and deploy, and go to class, bring my laptop, watch the deploy fail, fix it in class, and then by the time I get back, we can finally start doing real work. And then I would go to the gym at so I'd get back at like 2:20. I'd work from like 2 to I'd start making dinner at around 7 7. But I'd usually be doing dev in between 2 and 7, which is like, I think that's weird. Like, it's not enough time, I think. You know what I mean? 5 hours a day to like. And even then, I probably didn't even put that much time. I'd probably go off and play like Overwatch or something. So, not a lot of time. But now I'm off of school right now, which is nice. So I'm home and I can just like kind of chill out. And I only have one monitor, so I struggle.
That's cool too. Like freelancing is like, if you could get stuff done, if you could clear things out quicker, like it's just even more rewarding. Like, so always trying to figure out how to be more efficient. It's just like better for you in the long run. Like, task management wise, I feel like we've been doing so much better. Like, I don't even know, I can't even like remember how we were doing it in 2016 or even 15. I don't even think we were doing it in 15.
Well, the main problem with Blue Citrus right now is that we're using this piece of trash called Trello.
Wrong.
And we don't have Jira right now. So the company is basically taking a huge hit there. I wonder how much our profits would go up. Because, they say developer happiness is a huge,
You're
effect.
The only developer, though, who has such a strange... Okay, look, here's the thing, though. I want to, like... We want this to be an interactive stream too, guys. So please, like, ask any questions, especially if it's related to like what we're talking about at the moment, which is what we want to hear from you guys.
What we love about Jira and how trash just Trello is. So just be sure to put that in the chat.
So like,
champs.
I personally, for those who don't like Trello too, like I've seen so many times, in my opinion, people not taking full advantage of Trello, or using it in a way where it's actually efficient.
Oh, interesting. Trello is trash. Razorbit, smartest man in this chat room right now.
Smartest man in the world. No, like, okay, like I don't want to deny that Jira is a powerful task management system, but like if I've told this to Terrence too, but if I'm spending a lot of time creating tasks, because that's the thing, like there's so much more steps in tasks, and I agree that in the end it creates quality tasks, but I don't have the time to do that. It just takes too much time and it's draining, especially on multiple projects, and I'm trying to give clear tasks out. I feel like with Trello, it's an easy way for me to get tasks out very quickly. I could do it on my phone. I could check.
When are you sending me tasks on? Like, how often does that happen?
When I'm on the go.
You're on your phone. What does that mean? Like, honestly, like, Don, does anything of what he's saying make sense to you? Like,
I definitely see Jira being more daunting.
But he's scared. He's afraid. He's afraid. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, I think once you get used to, because there's a lot of things that you can do to make the creating tickets process more a lot faster. Like, even from the micro level, there's like hotkeys you can set, or they're already there. You can just press and create tickets and assign them to different people.
I could say the same with Trello too. Like I'm already all over those hotkeys. Like, for me to be able to just create a task just by just by hitting enter, like, it's done. But to me, like with Jira, like often I'll find that it just takes too much time, way too much time. And I told Terrence this too. Like, if we have more people involved, and I am more dedicated to the role of project manager, which I would love to do, I would love to fully use Jira, but yeah. Trello is, I feel like it's the best for where we're at.
Efficient.
It's the most efficient for given roles and responsibilities that I have at the moment, I just can't afford to spend too much time.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
But for those who don't like Trello, like I don't know, like maybe I'll do a video about like what I believe is a great way for developers specifically to handle their workflow, set up their boards, and what labels, how to use labels well, and what panels to create that. And yeah, maybe I'll put something out because I feel like there's a way to use Trello to be more efficient than, because your first glance, I don't know, I just see I don't even see like people setting up Trello boards in a like a linear fashion a lot of the times too. It's just kind of like a bunch of panels, and there is no like a start left, go right sort of thing, which I don't get.
The ready in progress, done, or like in review kind of thing is genius. Like everybody should be doing that, no matter what project or like some variant of that. It makes tons of sense. If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, honestly. Like the bare basic fundamentals. But like with Jira, it's like you can't go wrong. Like it's already already set up. Like, but yeah, Trello takes a little bit of setting up. You kind of just have a blank slate. But
yeah.
You gotta figure it out.
So, final thoughts. Trello it's a good tool, but Jira is, just critical. Last point: task dependencies, huge deal for me. I want to be able to filter and know what can I do right now. Huge deal for me. Probably biggest feature of Trello. They have like paid things, but Spectre Meltdown. It's cool, really cool attack. It's kind of a cool world we're living in where people like take it so seriously and people are responding so quickly. It's really high octane. Not going to affect most of us though at such a scale. Freelancing, do what you do, love it. Take care of yourself. Take time away. Don't be so drawn to your computer. Try to separate your life if you can. Be really smart about it.
Yeah, go to board game.
Time. Yeah, go play board games with Terrence, and I'll just end up screaming at you because I landed on Boardwalk and you made me pay. I'll lose my mind. Never happened before. So, guys, Steven, final thoughts?
You're better than me.
I love it. Is this gonna be every podcast? You're better than me.
Yeah.
What I should have just started with. You're better than me.
Speaking of every podcast, guys. Next week is our last podcast.
Oh man,
tears are already running down my face.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so next week is our last podcast. So hopefully you guys catch that one.
Yeah,
we've been enjoying this, and it's our last until season 3 at least, because we have a schedule set in place, and so we're not saying podcasts will never come back, but it will. We're not going to be doing podcasts until season 3 starts at least. So
okay, granted, I feel like this is the best podcast, and we should totally like continue somehow. I feel like this rocks. I feel like we got a good thing going. Well, we'll figure that out later.
I feel like the world, what's happening in the world makes this a great podcast. Like
so everything much chaos.
Something always seems to happen.
Oh my God! Google took YouTube off the Amazon. Oh no! We're not doing this. No. All right. Don, final thoughts.
I hope everyone had a great New Year's and winter's break. Yeah, stay safe on the interwebs.